Good evening. My name is Ronald Fiske, and I live in the Battlefield District. This school board is supposed to be an example of a representative democracy in action, but it isn't. The unwavering majority of this board represents 4 voting districts, or 57% of Spotsylvanians. The minority of the board represents the other 3 districts, or 43% of Spotsylvanians. Let's take a closer look at autocracy in action by looking at substance over form. What appears on the surface to be benign is covering foul conduct lurking out of sight. On the surface, a 4-3 majority appears to look like a representative democracy. Does that appearance hold up when the minority is frozen out of the conversation? The substance of deception, especially foul conduct and ignored ethics, is often concealed by form. A flowering palmetto concealing a dagger seems benign. If you reach to pick a palmetto flower not knowing a dagger is concealed, you are likely to get injured. This board's majority conceals its thinly veiled intent to regress public education that was vastly improved by Dr. Scott Baker over 10 years. That is the substance over form. Roughly 43% of Spotsylvanians have no voice in how Spotsylvania schools are managed. They have no power to protect their children from the intrigue created by the majority. 57% of the board fails to consider the concerns of 43% of Spotsylvanians. Doesn't that look like an oligarchy in action that refuses to engage the minority in civil discussions and negotiation than a representative democracy? We have a small 4-3 oligarchy controlling public education in Spotsylvania. That is substance over form. It appears benign when a board chairman happens to be in the majority if you only consider form. However, this board's autocratic chairman is a gavel-pounding silencer of opposing views, a man who is officious, pugnacious, ignominious, recalcitrant, mendacious, and a megalomaniac to boot. That is substance over form. The majority refuses to respond to questions from minority members, Spotsylvanians, the media, or anyone else on subjects that displease the chairman or could spotlight the majority lacks fitness to govern. That is substance over form. When the chairman raves about Supervisor David Ross being a great man, he has conflicted himself in public. Why would the chairman curry favor with the Board of Supervisors or perform like a puppet of the supervisors, especially when his undivided loyalty is supposed to be to Spotsylvania schools? Why would the chairman sacrifice our children on the altar of the Board of Supervisors unless it was for personal gain? Misplaced and divided loyalty can irreparably damage the futures of students by running Spotsylvania schools into the ground. That is substance over form. When the majority rejects new ideas and dissent from sources they don't agree with, when there are no good faith negotiations between all members, when the majority refuses to listen to minority concerns, that is a form of censorship, not representative democracy. That is substance over form. Although the majority appears to project a benign form of leadership, their substance is putrid. It is a misprison of public office when they want to make supervisors' lives easier before budget negotiations begin. That is substance over form. This board's majority is trying to run Spotsylvania schools as their personal kingdom. Spotsylvania should keep the spotlight shining on the damage the majority is doing to Spotsylvania schools by sacrificing our children for personal reasons. Now, I have copies of this presentation. I use some words in here that may be unknown to a few of you. I will pass this out so you can each have a copy and grab your dictionary when you get home. Thank you.
Sir, you may approach the bench. Hey, you may approach the bench and hand that to him.
Second?
You may approach the bench and hand that to him.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I like a man who's decisive. what he does. There he does. Please pass that on.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it would be helpful if our board members maybe less talking to each other when we have our speakers speaking.
Dr. Martin, move us along, please. Dr. Martin.